Now, if you know me, you know that I've been trading with Fibonacci retracements forever. It's been my primary indicator that I've used to trade for over 20 years now. And in this video, I'm going to give you a crash course on how to use them in your trading. So let's go ahead and dive in. First off, let's go ahead and define retracement. If you have a position that has moved up, and let's say it's moved up $10, right? It went from 10 to 20. If it backed off to $15, so 10 to 20 was a $10 move, and now it drops to 15. Well, that retracement, that pullback was 50%, because if it moved $10 up and came down 5, that was a 50% retracement. That's very important to understand for this indicator set as we go ahead and dive in to take a look at it. All right, so let's go do that. Let's go jump to the charts and take a look at that indicator and see exactly what we're looking to do there. So I want to start off with McDonald's, MCD, right? And the very first thing I'm going to do is flip over to a template that has no indicators on the top of the screen, right? So I'm going to take off my moving averages on this template here. I'm going to zoom this in, and what I am looking for is the largest directional move closest to the right side of the chart. So what does that tell me there? Well, there's different ways I could visually see what's bigger, but what I'm looking at is this. I'm going to grab another tool that we have on Omega charts just to help me see dollar amounts, what we've got there. So that move from high to low has been about $26.50. Right? If I grab the same tool again and come up from this high now, and we kind of have that move down in there, that's what we call a little hiccup in there. And we come down here, we're at $54. Well, $45. Well, that first one, 26, that's not bigger than 45, so we don't need that one. Right? We've got another one that moved off of this low, came up, nice move. We had a good pullback in there. So we're going to draw off of that right there. And that is $33. So which one is the biggest one? Well, easy enough to see. It's the one that's $45 inside of there. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all of those lines off. That was just to help you understand where we're looking to draw from. Right? You could, of course, do it just straightforward math. You don't have to do it the way that I did. So there's a tool called Fibonacci Support and Resistance. That's the tool we want to grab. Now, you may have a slightly different name for the tool, but on Omega charts, and many brokers will use the same name, but there will be some that have different. Fibonacci Support and Resistance. So what we're looking for here is we're looking for that V bottom and or V top, right, on the chart. So when I drew the line there to show you the dollar amount, right, what I'm looking at here is you see this nice V in here? That's what I want to see. We moved straight down and a strong V bottom. I like the bottom much better than I like the top. Top, we kind of had some hesitation in there. Okay? So what we're going to do then is grab that Fibonacci Support and Resistance tool. We're going to come from that highest high right there, which is going to be right in this part of that V. And we're going to drag it down to the bottom. Now, I want you to notice something. There are a series of lines that are happening as I move my mouse. I started the mouse up here where you'll see a 1 as I move my mouse away. I started up there, and now if I snap it right here, just to make it easier to see, you can see that that mouse, where I snapped it, that one line, the top, the starting point, is at 262.80. Right? And for this purpose, let's go ahead and let's increase the font just to make it a little bit easier to see the numbers. Okay? So I drew that fib there, and all I did was I drew the starting point, the blue line, the one, down to the next blue line. Now, that's not where our final line is going to be. Right? I started up here, and I'm going to draw down to this very bottom right down here. Okay, and I'm going to snap to that very bottom line. Now, you can make these lines extend automatically. I don't like doing that. I prefer to drag them out. I just don't like the line that it gives me. So I like to draw them out. And then this way I put them where I want. And when they stop working, I don't have to worry that they're going to go on 10 years from now. They're going to pop up again. Right? So I've got my lines drawn in place now. And what's happening here is all I drew were the blue lines. Right? Remember, I've said that. There's 1 and the 0 is my drawings that took place. Let me grab a drawing tool. All right, here we go. So we went from that 262.80.
What's up?
The mouse it just won't move. So we went from that 262.80 and we drew down to 217.68. Right? V bottom, V top. So once we made that drop down, whatever that dollar amount is, I'm going to pretend it's $100 just to make it an easy number in our head. If we moved up to that 50% line, that would be a $50 move. Or it is 50% of the overall move. Right? If we went a little bit higher, it's 61.8%. We went a little bit higher, it's 0.764%. So in a nutshell, that's what you're looking at for drawing the fib. So if we look at some key things to look for, right? I want to find stocks that have some movement to them. Right? That's first and foremost. Is there enough of an opportunity? How do I do that? When I draw the Fibonacci lines, I want you to look at the 5, the 0.5, and the 0.618. And I want you to look at the dollar amount different inside of there. We've got about $5, a little bit more than $5 in here on the McDonald's chart that we drew. I want that number to be at least $1, preferably 2, but I'll take $1. And $1 works. It's not going to give you a lot of profit on the trade, but $1 works, right? As a minimum. And you'll find as a newer trader, or newer to fibs, I should say, you may find a handful of stocks that have fibs that you're going to draw on them. But as you start to learn these and do this again and again and again, you're going to realize that you've got 20, 50, 100 plus candidates with Fibonacci's drawn on them. Right now, I keep a stable that is about 220 stocks a month. Which means I'll have some from last month, of course, still on there. But I wind up with about 220 stocks that the Fibonacci's work on month in and month out, and all the other criteria I'm looking for fit for that as well. So let's talk about why Fibonacci works. You know, it is so important with everything that we do in life. If you look at things such as the medicine man, right? You got the sketch drawing of a man with their arms stretched all the way out to the side. The legs are kind of V-shaped, right? Well, that medicine man is a numeric value, a Fibonacci value. The distance from the top of your head to the bottom of your head is a Fibonacci number. From the center of your nose to the outside of your ears is a fib number. The top of your head to the center of your eyes, the center of your nose, your mouth to your chin are Fibonacci ratios. All right? Everything about us from a human being relates back to Fibonacci's. You look at the branches on a tree, they tend to grow in 13s, a Fibonacci number. You look at art, math, music, any one of them, they all relate back to Fibonacci's. If you've ever looked at a painting or a piece of furniture or a house and went, ooh, I don't know what it is, but something doesn't look right about that, right? It's because it wasn't designed using or created using Fibonacci, right? If I made you a table, I'm a woodworker, very avid woodworker. If I built you a table and I made the table 2 inches tall, 12 inches wide, and 13 feet long, you can look at that and go, what the heck am I going to do with that except trip over it, right? I didn't really design it functionally. And your mind sees that whether you realize it or not. So let's not call it that size, but let's say the table is 6 inches higher than a normal table is, where you're eating dinner. So you're not eating dinner down here, you're eating dinner up here, right? You may stand there and not sit at it, but stand there and look at the table and go, I don't know, it doesn't seem right. Is it too tall maybe? Right? It doesn't matter what it is. Your brain can see it whether you know it or not. Well, if it's so important in everything else, every facet of our lives, Fibonacci's is important, why would you not make it important in the market as well? There's no good reason for it. Fibonacci's are critical to me. If you want to find scary stuff, this will show you how scary stocks tend to move to a line that you never knew existed before you learned fibs. So if you want to learn more, click the link in the description below for a free 3-part training on how I use Fibonacci's. Until next time, make it a profitable day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. Make sure to go ahead and check out some of our other training content right here.